Thank you for watching the Whittemore Community Magazine's Hour of Power Live on Facebook with your host Edward McQueen and April Garner.
And good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. They said it's time for broadcast. That's what it is, time for broadcast. I'm your host, Ed McQueen from the Whittemore Community Magazine live right here on Facebook and YouTube and WCMagazine.net. Good evening to you all, and hopefully everyone has had a beautiful holiday. And hopefully not everybody is eating too much either, okay? We have a tendency of overdoing it sometimes. But anyway, we just want to let you, our audience, know that we had a good holiday, and we're glad to be back here for today for this program. We're going to dwell today on fighting fires. Now you really got to be start to see very proficient about it. But we got somebody here today that's going to really take us into another level of the program in terms of number one, it could be a career for somebody. But the other thing is that there's some things about fire safety that I'm sure I'd say most of us don't know about, and some of the things that firemen will and firefighters will do that's not just solely fighting fires. They have a host of other things that impact our safety, and we just want to bring those to you today, and hopefully you can get some of your questions asked, and hopefully you can send in some comments and just let us know or how do you feel about it, and if some of our adults who have children or who inspired to become firefighters, those kind of issues are going to be addressed today. So without any further ado, I want to introduce you to our guest, Fire Chief of Surfside Beach, South Carolina, Chief Prentice Williams. And of course, our co-host has always been there with us. She's always there. So, oh man, hey, look at these hats, man. That's saying
it's
something.
Cold out. It's the time. You got to cover the head. Yeah.
That is so stylish, though. It really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Even the chief is shaking his head on that.
Yeah.
So April, we're going to of course we have the chief with us, and he knows you, by the way.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Chief Prentice Williams, welcome to the program. And the knowledge you have is what inspired us to want to have you on the program today. And in view of Black History is coming up, of course, with us, Black History is every month, okay? So, and you've definitely made history. So, Chief, if you could just, I'll leave it to you, just kind of give us a brief overview of yourself, and then we'll go on from there. Okay.
All right. I was raised in the Sand Ridge community. Went to Whittemore Park, which is now West Conway. I'm sorry, to West Conway Middle, which is now Whittemore Park. Graduated from Conway High in 1986. Started volunteering in 1987. Was employed by Conway City in 1995. I volunteered for approximately 7 or 8 years. Worked for Conway Department up to 2012. After 2012, I joined the Surfside Beach Fire Department as their training officer, as a captain position. And then a year later, I became the procurement officer. Took some online college classes, got my bachelor in fire science in 2020 of November 2020, got promoted to fire chief.
Well, and
And the rest is history.
was it the rest of history?
Yes,
Well,
sir.
we're so proud to have you as our guest today. I'm sure I can speak for April, but April will let you know herself. But this is the problem for us, and I think you are a first. You're making Black history, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm the first, actually the first African American fire captain for Surfside and the first fire chief African American for Surfside.
For Surfside,
They had no African Americans employed in the fire department here in Surfside.
Oh, so you're
Brother
the
Edward, can you bring us back on the screen? Because we can only see Prentice.
yeah. Okay, I
There
got
you
him.
go. Okay, now it looks like he's having a conversation with us instead of by himself.
Well, yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, Chief Prentice, sorry about that. All good?
That's all
Okay,
good. Hey,
good. Well, I'm glad to see that. Yeah, so but you're again, get him back. You were the only Black that's on the fire department there, not right now?
no, we have a Black captain. That's the fire marshal, Earl Spain. He retired from Conway in 2012, and he came to work for Surfside.
Okay,
So we have 2 African Americans employed for Surfside.
right. Okay. We'd like, before we get started, Chief, I'd like to let the audience know that one of the sources for getting you to come on the program was the lady who did the story on you for the Whittemore Community Magazine. And you have any idea who that was?
You broke up.
I broke up.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Stop right there. Okay. Well, anyway, did you hear what I was saying? By the way, I said I was one of our sources
No,
for.
I didn't.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Good. Thanks. Can you hear me, April?
Mm-hmm.
Everything's good. Okay. One of the sources for us to getting you to come on the program was the lady who did the story on you in the Whittemore Community Magazine. Did you see that? And do you know who that was?
I saw it. It was a great article by Janara Falk.
Yes.
She did an excellent job.
Yeah. Why she dug up all that history on you, man? Where'd she get all that from? It must have taken a long time. Uh-huh.
Well, I had the right one for Surfside, so I just gave her that information.
Okay, and she did a fantastic job, and I'd like to refer our audience to that magazine. This is the latest. It's the December issue of the Whittemore Community Magazine, and she did a really good job there. Okay, but we're gonna have some history coming up on the past year, and the lady that's right beside you, that looks right beside you right there, Sister April, she's going to give us a rundown of everything that happened for the it's a 2020 in review. Okay. All right, April, is that correct?
Okay.
I'm gonna do my best. 2020 was COVID.
Yeah.
Pretty much the entire year, with the exception of the first 3 months. So
that is the issue. That is the topic. Yeah, that is the topic. So that's how she'll give that in review. So okay, Chief, good to have you on the program. And I just have, and April, you can jump in anytime you want to, but I jotted down some questions or some comments about what the discussion could be about. Okay. So, well, first of all, let me say this. As far as the career is concerned, I looked online and I saw where Ori Georgetown Tech, April, has a career in what's it, firefighting, right? Fire
We have fire science.
fire
Yeah.
science.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Were you a part of that, Chief Williams?
No, I wasn't part of Ori Georgetown degree program. I went through another program. It's called Columbia Southern University.
Right. Yeah.
Went through them. Got affiliated with the fire chiefs of Ori Georgetown.
Right. Right.
That's the reason why I went.
To be at your level, Chief Williams, is it necessary to have a bachelor's, or is it just a great combination of experience and education that would make someone successful in your field?
It's necessary. It's a minimum to have a bachelor's. You really need to have a master's degree if you want to be a fire chief.
Awesome. Okay.
But I was lucky.
Well, you have the years of experience, I'm sure, that spoke volumes. And of course, it's not too late to go and get your master's. I'm sure that, if that's something that you want to do, you could definitely make that happen. And because Brother Edward brought up Ori Georgetown Tech, we have a lot of students who come through, and most of the time they are volunteer firefighters, and they're coming to the campus to learn more about how to do that. But if they aspire to rise in the ranks, it's good to know that, they definitely can seek other options, because, our students transfer from Ori Georgetown Tech to other colleges for bachelor's and other advanced degrees. So that's definitely something that we can pass on as far as, even having you there to talk to them about what they can do if they wanted to, rise in the ranks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's consideration. I'm thinking about it. I just write papers. That master's degree program is nothing but a lot of papers, and you really have to have your mindset and really buckle down that this is really what you want. And if you want it, you'll do it. You'll go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Absolutely.
education is key. Education is key to getting in a position as a fire chief.
Mm-hmm.
Even in lower level deputy chiefs, battalion chiefs, those positions require bachelor's degree.
Mm.
So anytime that you're at a chief level, you will have to have a degree.
An advanced degree. Okay. That's good information to have. Mm-hmm.
I saw the photo of your fire station on. I don't know if this is the one that you are in, but that was a pretty technologically advanced looking station. Okay, and I'm sure you are very much up to date there. Is that correct? With all of the tools for making it necessary for fighting fires or doing other activities and responsibilities that you all do. Is that correct?
Yeah, we keep up with the trends as far as equipment, what other departments around the world is doing, how they're utilizing their fire trucks, their type of hoses, their extrication gear. So we keep up with the trend that's going around the country.
Okay. Now, had some phone calls, but not, and maybe a couple of texts, but some possible questions that some people may want to ask. So if I can just, since you all are over I assume you're over the EMS personnel, or you're just part of the EMS personnel?
No, the EMS personnel works for Horry County Fire Department. So Horry County Fire Rescue is EMS personnel that's in our station. We just contract with them to. The personnel here are all EMTs, so we're trained to the basic level life safety.
Okay, yeah, for life saving. Yeah.
Whenever you get an ambulance, it's usually paramedic, EMT.
Right.
And we are trained to the EMT level.
Okay, okay. When I was growing up, even after I became a much older person, um, I saw I always wanted to know what determines the location of a fire hydrant, and what in terms of distance, and what's the criteria for having one in its present location? You know, and what is the
Usually
criteria?
fire,
Yeah, what is the criteria for the amount of distance, the maximum amount of distance that a fire hydrant can be in a neighborhood?
it
Um,
depends on the neighborhood, how many
yeah,
homes is going
okay.
in the neighborhood. Usually they try not to space them out no more than 1,000 feet apart. Because usually most fire trucks carry 1,000 feet of large diameter hose. So anywhere between 500 to 1,000 feet, usually you find a fire hydrant.
Okay, yeah. I mean that's good information. And what about a fire station now? Because I see sometimes they build new fire stations that were not in a certain location, and now they build a new one as a new one, and not just to replace another one. So what determines that? I mean, what has prompted that? Was it the population growth or what?
It's a variety of things: population growth, insurance rating. If the community like to have cheaper insurance, you need to have a fire station within 5 miles of your residence. So that's one of the reasons why you see stations popping up in different locations. When you have a station within 5 miles, you get a cheaper insurance rating.
Whoa, man! Look! I didn't know
That's
that.
one of the yeah.
Wow, wow!
Yeah,
I
like
hope.
like Conway. If you get Conway Station, the stations in town by a bird flight is within 2 miles of each other. So if you take Conway Main Station and go out 5 miles, it encompasses everything within 5 miles. Then you take the other station off a country club in 5 miles, and that's how they get your insurance rating. So whenever you call the insurance company, if you stayed on File Road and you call the insurance company, they would give you the rating of the city of Conway, which is ISO 1. And that's the best rating you can get. That's what you'll get cheaper insurance.
Because of the proximity of fire stations.
Correct. They are able to get to your location within 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes.
2 to 3 minutes.
And that's one of the criteria. Yeah.
Well, that's pretty fast. Yeah. So someone who's living up there near the post office on 701 near Culture Road, then they should be able to receive a response from their fire station very quickly. Then.
Correct. That is correct.
That's correct.
Prentice, or Chief Williams, I should say, I'd like to ask you some questions that are more about your goals since you've become the new fire chief. And, this is, of course, not to insinuate that there were any issues or anything like that in Surfside. You're going into a new area. How long were you working in Surfside before you were promoted?
I got hired in 2012, so I've been
2012.
here about 8.
8 years. Yeah, about 8 years.
And
so, go ahead.
Say that again.
You were there about 8 years.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And
my goals as the fire.
Yeah, I think we have a little bit of a delay. Go ahead.
Goals as the fire chief now is to try to hire some more personnel. We're probably going to replace a ladder truck in a couple of years, and just get the latest equipment that's out there to help us fight fire, find people in buildings,
Hmm.
things like that.
So how wide is the area, Surfside Beach? What's the I guess the radius or the stretch that you actually cover?
So we covered the town limits is 2 miles. Well, we have a contract with Horry County to cover 5 miles outside city limits.
Okay.
So we could run up to 5 miles outside the town limits.
Do you go up the Garden City Connector?
Not that far, not quite.
Not that far. Okay.
Garden City Connector is a little out of our district since Merle's Inlet has a fire station right there.
Okay.
But surely, go ahead. Sorry.
But okay, so at the actual town of Surfside, just to give everybody landmarks, would be considered everything where, or all of the areas where, I think the town hall, there's a Conway National Bank, there's the Brick House Lounge, that particular area all around. And is that pretty much your 2 mile stretch?
We run up to the old Harley Davidson place.
Oh,
Harley
wow.
Davidson
Okay.
on 17.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
We respond to
All right,
calls up to there.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's almost to State Park.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We respond to calls in Prestwick, Southwood, Deerfield, down Glens Bay. We have what they call mutual aid agreements with Merle's Inlet, Garden City, Georgetown County, Horry County, Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach, City of Conway. In the event that they have something large, we'll send a piece to us. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, that's a pretty wide area then. And I know that people locally can visualize all of those landmarks and figure out exactly what area you cover, across and through 544. So that's really good. So you were talking about the fact that you want to definitely hire more. And I know that, over the past few years, especially with during our conversations with the police departments, Brother Edward and I have learned that it's very difficult to recruit for law enforcement. And I'm sure the same probably holds true for the fire department as well. So, what are some things that you all have in place that you feel may be attractive for those who are thinking about going into fire science as a career? Or what are some things that you want to put in place?
Ride-along program.
Mm-hmm.
We have a ride-along program. You can come and ride on the fire apparatus, see what all involved in our day-to-day activities. Really see if you like what we do as a firefighting community.
Sign me on, man.
It's probably one of the best jobs you ever had.
That would be interesting.
Sign me on, man. I want to go on the ride along.
Sign him up. Go ahead and sign him up.
Just has excuse me a ride along program where you can ride on that fire apparatus and see what a firefighter actually does. You won't be able to get in what we call the hot zone where everything is taking place, but you get to ride on fire truck.
I want the act
and see what we see, and it's an adrenaline rush.
And it definitely is the best way to find out what you all have to deal with. I mean, that's kind of like job shadowing or a little mini internship, if you will. A lot of people will sign up for careers and they don't really know what they're getting into until day one on the job. It does, even if they are exposed to modules and different types of scenarios in the classroom, until they are there trying to fight that heat and air, they have no clue of what you guys are going through. So, what was in your career? What's been one of the biggest, fire situations you had to deal with?
Well, I had a few downtown theater. I went to it. That was one of my major fires that I went to. I forget the restaurant name that's down by the river whenever it caught on fire.
The bonfire. It used to be
And
bonfire,
then
I believe.
yeah, bonfire. And then there was Rudonia's first. There, right across from the city hall in Conway. That was that was probably some of the major fires that I went to, and a few of them I was in charge of.
Okay. So. All right. So at what point did you discover that that's really what you want to do as a career? Like, how did you even get into it?
Well, I had a couple of friends that was volunteering in Conway. One evening I was riding with one of them, and they got a call. And we was just speeding down the highway, and I was like, well, I don't see the police bothering you. You're going through red lights. And nobody saying anything. So that looked like fun.
Looked like fun to you, okay.
Yeah.
Like he said, the adrenaline rush, Brother Edward.
The police and you pass the police and they're not doing anything to you. So, as a youngster, that's exciting.
Yeah,
once I got there and saw what he was doing, how he was helping the community, that really interested me to get involved.
Yeah, that sounds like even though you're going to something serious, but it sounds like fun. You know what I mean? It sounds like adrenaline really starts running there. We
it was an adrenaline rush.
Yeah. I know. Look, Sandridge, but all these congratulations coming in on our comment sheet. Sandridge must be proud. It must be all Sandridge. It's got to be.
It is all Sandridge.
Yeah, it's all Sandridge, man. Sandridge should be proud, man.
They are.
Yeah. And your mom, Miss Genevieve Williams. I'm sure she's elated on this. Yeah. And well-deserved congratulations, man. Really. We're on this side of Conway, and so we're congratulating you also. So it doesn't have to be Sandridge. But we'll give Sandridge his props.
Thank you. We deserve them.
Okay, so you deserve them. Okay, yeah. I agree. Yeah, I agree. You have good people out there. Okay, very productive people. Well, one of the questions that came by way of phone, I guess. See, and I think you answered about the right amount of time for service calls or response calls or medical calls. But you said that you all do other than just firefighting. Name some things that you all get involved in on the same level as firefighting or more frequently as firefighting. I know it's saving people's lives, but some of the things can you
name some of the things we get involved in?
Yeah, right. Other than just firefighting, I know you just don't do firefighting because as you and I were discussing previously, it's not just firefighting because most people are focused on firefighting because you're firefighters, but there's a lot more things that you all have to do and you're responsible for, and it's probably more frequent than a fire.
Right. We all have to be medically trained, so we all are EMTs, emergency medical technicians.
Okay.
So that's whenever you see a fire truck responding to a medical emergency, it's because they have medically trained personnel on that fire truck. We also respond to wrecks. We do wrecks, we do water leaks, we do cats in trees. We respond to a variety of different things. Kids locked in cars, we respond to those type things. Somebody gas leak, a car just stopped on the side of the road and nobody's in it, we'll respond to it just because people just don't know and they're concerned.
Yeah.
So the fire department is loud for the community. Whenever there's something wrong, people usually call the fire department. We're probably the only public safety service that you would invite us into your home, no matter what the emergency is. You invite us. You're looking for that help.
Yeah. I mean, that's look. As frivolous as it may sound, but that's a huge responsibility, man. And you all really have a huge responsibility. So, and this is like 24/7. Okay, so you must have you got 3 shifts of crews probably at each fire station. Is that correct?
That's correct. We work what they call a 24/48. So we work one day, then we're off 2 days.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. We were discussing earlier, and you made me laugh about the cat being up in the tree. If it's not, if he keeps going up in the tree, well, you want to elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, we get calls for cats in the tree. When we get there, we look at the situation. If it's a small tree, we'll throw a ladder and try to get the cat. But if it's a huge tree and the cat continue to go up the tree, there's nothing we can do. We have a 102-foot ladder, but if the tree is taller than that, I mean, we're really just wasting our time trying to get the cat out of the tree. Eventually, the cat will come down once he or she gets hungry. They'll come down the tree.
Yeah,
which is probably a few days.
Wow.
But you've never seen a cat skeleton in a tree, have you?
No. It's a good analogy there.
The cats are pretty resourceful, and they're gangster. Yeah, they're gonna be all right.
Yeah, this conversation is going quite well. April, I do want to break with the commercial, but when I come back, I got a number of comments and questions I'd like to ask the captain. That's okay with you, Captain? I mean, I'm sorry, I keep calling you Captain, man, Chief. Okay, I apologize for that. Captain is a step below.
It's an adjustment I had to do.
Okay. All right, we're gonna break for commercial, okay?
Having problems with your vehicle?
Okay.
For quick, prompt, and courteous service, call Snag and Drag Towing. Gregory Graham will make sure that you're taken care of right away. 843-997-0751. That's Snag and Drag Towing Service at 843-997-0751. If you're looking for flowers for any occasion, the Daisy Fair Flowers is here to help you. They offer an enormous selection of flowers, gift baskets, and live plants for delivery in Conway, South Carolina. Serving Conway since 1980, the Daisy Fair Flowers, 1400 4th Avenue in Conway, or call 843-248-7222. You may also visit the web at thedaisyfairflowers.com. Looking for a full-service funeral home with a broad array of services? Look no further than Makiva Funeral Home at 1408 Race Path Avenue in Conway, South Carolina. They offer a wide variety of services, including traditional funerals, memorial services, and graveside ceremonies. You can reach them anytime, day or night, at 843-248-2706. That's 843-248-2706. Makiva Funeral Home in Conway, South Carolina. George L. Williams Jr. is CEO and licensed funeral director. Do you need to complete your diploma or get your GED? Stop putting your future on hold. Contact the Horry County Adult Education Centers today. With 2 offices in Conway and Myrtle Beach, you'll be well on your way to a new career. The Conway Education Center is at 843-488-6200, or the Myrtle Beach Family Learning Center is at 843-839-5400. You can also visit the website at hcae.horrycountyschools.net. Heating unit not working? Need answers right away? Call Quick Services Heating and Air Conditioning for comfort in a hurry. Quick Services Heating and Air LLC is the right choice for you. Call call Kenya and Nina Keith at 843-488-1492. Residential or commercial financing available. You can also visit their website at www.quickserviceshvac.com. That's KWIK serviceshvac.com. Quick Services Heating and Air LLC, the right choice for you. Serving Horry County for over 79 years, Palmetto Chevrolet in downtown Conway has just what you need to find new roads. Come through and browse, make your selection, and find new roads right away. Palmetto Chevrolet, 1122 4th Avenue, downtown Conway. You can also visit palmettochevrolet.com or call the service center at 843-248-4283. Palmetto, for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, and life. See how it feels to be on the #1 team with Tony McAfee of State Farm Insurance. Call Tony at 843-903-7800 or visit him at 3888 Renee Drive in Myrtle Beach. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Looking to start a new career? Train to work in Myrtle Beach. Classes starting soon. Free to eligible participants. Short-term, 3 weeks or less in hospitality, culinary, electrical, plumbing, and more at Horry Georgetown Technical College. There's more. Continuing education at 843-477-2020. Horry Georgetown Technical College, where there's more. Enjoy soul food the way your mama made it. You'll be surrounded by some of the best food in Horry County and affordable prices. Blue plate specials, senior plates, and more. Daily specials at Big Mike's Soul Food. Big Mike's Soul Food is located at 504 16th Avenue in Myrtle Beach. You can call your order in at 843-712-2048 or visit BigMikeSoulFood.net to find out about the latest specials. Big Mike's Soul Food. Soul food, the way your mama made it. Treating conditions from A to Z. Schedule an appointment today. Ask about acceptable insurance coverage at Waccamaw Primary Care, 660 Singleton Ridge Road, Conway, South Carolina. Dr. Winston D. McIver Jr., a trusted and reputable source in Horry County and beyond, has all you need for family practice and sports medicine. Call 843-234-4362 to schedule your appointment today. Waccamaw Primary Care, 660 Singleton Ridge Road, Suite A, Conway, South Carolina. 843-234-4362.
All right, we're back with our newly promoted fire chief of Surfside Beach, South Carolina, Chief Prentice Williams. Sandwich proud. We'll say that. Okay, Chief. Someone sent, I guess it was a text or whatever, but they wanted to know about how would you handle the situation or the incident that happened in Nashville, Tennessee, and what kind of escalated training is required for that?
Well, that's gonna really, you need to preserve the scene. First and foremost, preserve the scene. Out in fires and not track a lot of fire hose, personnel. Maybe try to out it from afar using ladder trucks, things like that. And you have to have some technical training to identify pieces of the explosion. Excuse me, the bomb parts.
Right.
There's federal government classes out there that teach you how to find explosives, what to look for, parts, things like that. So we take those classes and bring them back to South Carolina. The class, excuse me, the classes in New Mexico. We go out there and learn about explosives and bring that knowledge back.
Wow. Hey, you all haven't had to experience anything about dislodging a bomb since you've been on the force as a firefighter, have you?
No, sir. Usually, if it's some type of explosive, police department gets involved, and they'll usually contact ATF.
Oh, okay. Still got a lot of congratulations coming in, Chief Williams.
Thank
I
you.
know they had people on Sand Ridge. Well, there's a lot of them there, but there's a lot of congratulations coming in, and one that says, "Congratulations, Chief," is from Ms. Fuller, Patricia Fuller. Congratulations, Chief. During this time of the year, there appear to be a number of fires in the area. Can citizens contact your department to get these fire alarms installed in their homes?
Well, smoke alarms are, each department gets a grant for those. They're
Right.
free. If you call your neighboring fire department, they'll come install them into your home at no charge. So, you know, this time of year, you need to check them, make sure that the batteries are up to par. If it's over 10 years, that smoke detector is not any good. You need to replace it. So 10 years is the expiration date on all smoke alarms. If you have one that's over 10 years, call your local fire department and they'll come install them for free.
All right. Yeah, install them free. Is that part of is that a national program, by the way, or is that just based left up to the county or the local system? I'm sorry?
That's a national program.
It's a national program. Okay. So federal government is funding that, I guess. Yeah. And that's good.
That's correct.
Yeah, that's very good. So in your evaluation of fire smoke alarms, since we're talking about, which is better? Is a 100% battery operated or one that's wired?
Actually, one is wired and battery.
Okay.
The one
Okay.
that's wired
backup.
and battery, they're usually set up on a system. So if one goes off, they're all go off. So if you just have one that's just battery operated, it's just going to, that one battery operated smoke alarm is just going to go off. You may be upstairs and the fire's downstairs. And if it's just a battery operated, just that one is going to go off. But if it was a series, which is wired and battery, then all of them will go off simultaneously in the house to alert you.
Any new technology that the public has not been privy to yet, and that you all been working on, and that you've seen and discovered, and that you think should be implemented as soon as possible? I speak in terms of someone talked about the need for a new fire apparatus that automatically calls based upon a person's disability or person an inability to talk or something like that, and it automatically goes to the nearest 911 source or something in that arena. I mean, we're talking about new technology there.
No, we don't have any technology like that. We do have smoke alarms that for someone that's blind, it'll vibrate.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have those type of smoke alarms. There is a system out there that for someone that might be deaf, that a light a flash,
right,
to get their attention.
Mm-hmm.
There are smoke alarms out there like that. But as far as technology wise, as responding to a certain call, there's nothing out there like that.
Okay, April, you had anything to say you wanted?
Oh, no. I was interested in hearing the questions that you have for Chief Williams.
All right, well, that's good.
This is interesting stuff. Mm-hmm.
So when the city or the jurisdiction comes into play, who has precedence over if a case like this comes up, I'm not sure if it ever has, but where something interrupts a call going to the fire department. Have you ever had that a case like that where you all don't get the call, but yet there's a need for a fire going on, and then something interrupts, or you have an UPS system, I presume, right? A UPS system, uninterrupted power system.
So you asking, like, if, let's just say 501 and Singleton Ridge Road.
Right.
It depends. It depends on how the call is put in for the dispatch. Either she'll call the city or she'll call the county. Let's just say if the county went, but it's inside the city limits. Usually they'll call that other department to come over, and they just tell them what they got going on. And it's usually handled like that. They'll tell them what they have, what they did, whatnot, and then the department as jurisdiction is in will take over.
Okay, well, let me rephrase this. Maybe I don't know if that was clarified to the audience's sake or not. I guess what I was alluding to, if the unfortunate incident happens that if my house is on fire and I make the call and the call doesn't get through, have you ever had a situation like that? Simple call 911, for example.
Yeah. If you make a call and 911 is busy, get your local fire department's number and call them direct. They'll respond, but they'll also tell you to call 911 so you can get the right amount of apparatus responding.
Okay, all right.
Did I answer the question?
I suppose I was doing it for my audience there, but hopefully, if they have any issues, then they can just certainly send them by way of comments. Well, there's one question.
Sometimes
Go ahead. There's one question.
You call 911 and you can't get through.
Yeah.
If you do have an emergency and you do know the local fire department's number, direct. They can call on the radio and get a dispatcher answer a lot quicker than you're calling on the phone.
Okay. There's another question from Mr. Fuller. It says, what determines further investigation is required for a fire?
If we're not able to pinpoint the exact location where the fire started, like on electrical fires, sometimes they are difficult to pinpoint what actually caused the fire. I mean, you may have, if you got an outlet and you got several things plugged into the outlet, it might overload the circuit, cause a fire. Determining what appliance overloaded the circuit and caused the fire determines further investigation. It's usually when insurance will come in and you got to, it's been certified to look at appliances.
So it's let me get back to the career academics of the career of a firefighter. And Abel, I don't know if you want to get into this not, but during the curriculum of firefighting at Old Georgetown Tech, for example, is there any part in there about what to do other than leaving it to the, like you said, the police department about a bomb? What immediate, is there anything in the curriculum about that, how you would deal with that, how you would address that? Did you have that in your fire science degree?
No, there's, we take what they call instant command classes.
Command?
That tells you how instant command. It tells you how to address different situations.
Right.
And usually everybody gets that training.
Okay. Instant command.
Yes.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So I was at a go ahead.
That's just it's a federal government class that tells you how to handle certain situations. If you think it's overwhelming you, then you call for backup, and you people back up, wait till somebody that's confident in running that scene. Once they get there, then you come up with a action plan of how to mitigate it.
So you've had something like what 20 some years experience at this in the fire.
Yeah, I'm going on 32 years of experience.
32 years.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Yeah, that's great. I hope a lot of young people are taking this under consideration. I think, and that's. So, what would you tell young people today about wanting to be a firefighter? Just an overview.
I would tell them to come to your neighboring fire department, ask questions, see if he has a ride-along program. You know, ask the questions about how many hours is it going to take for me to become a firefighter. It's a demanding job. You spend a lot of time away from your family. You miss certain birthdays. You work on holidays. But it's a gratifying job. We usually go to people at their worst time, and if in the spirit of helping community and people, then you'll love the fire service. Just think about helping people. If you want to help people, fire service is where you want to be.
One other question that came up was that in addition to providing medical response services, should our fire departments get into or out of the business of transporting patients?
No, that's part of. That's where the fire service has gone. I'm sorry. That's where the fire service has gone.
Yeah.
We do more medical calls than we do fires because, prevention has worked. We've trained kids in schools to practice fire safety, and it has worked. So we don't run a lot of fires, but when we do, we're ready, we're prepared, and we're able to handle the situation. But the fire service has gone more medical than anything.
I think it's good that you have the medical component because, I mean, if you all are first on the scene, aside from, trying to do what you naturally do, you may have some people that you need to provide medical attention to. And, I would think that a well-rounded firefighter would be able to do that, at least from a preliminary standpoint, to make sure that person is stable or whatever the case is until other EMT personnel or whatever can get there. So, it's pretty comprehensive what you do. I mean, to me, it's, you're right. It's a very demanding job, not only physically, but mentally, I'm sure, because you're trying to do a number of different things. You're trying to save life. You're trying to save property. You're trying to make sure it doesn't spread, that kind of thing. And I know that we've had very few situations that are like wildlife type fires, like we've seen in California. We had one once upon a time, maybe a few years ago. I think it was something out on International Boulevard or something that was a little bit out of control or whatever. But, thank God you don't have to deal with those types of things, because I always wonder how those firefighters actually deal with that, with fires of that magnitude. But, have you ever had to travel outside of the state to go and help in those types of cases or in major medical type of cases? Have you ever had to go?
Yeah, we had some mass casualty incidents here in Horry County where we have multiple injured people, and you see things and you want to discuss them, but sometimes you just can't discuss them at home, and you can only discuss it with the people that you work with because they understand.
They understand.
It's hard, but we able to work through it. We got a EAP. We got an organization in the fire service that is willing to come and talk to everybody that was at that scene that was affected. So we have different avenues that we can go and have a release, if you want to say, and talk about our emotions and feelings and all that good stuff. So we do have avenues where we can go and just discuss our feelings.
And I think that's good. Mental health is definitely important in every industry, especially high pressure, highly volatile career field. So it's good to know that you do have that type of a benefit offering for firefighters, because you're right. And sometimes it's not that, because I'm sure, like in your situation, you're a family man, your wife and children have probably heard the fire lingo if you've talked about it at all. So they're familiar with a little bit, but you don't always want to take that home. So it's just good to be able to, have that outlet as far as EAP is concerned. And it's great that the fire department offers that. And, hopefully anyone who's watching, who's interested in a career as a firefighter will be able to reach out to you or, maybe even contact Horry Georgetown Tech as a kind of like a starting point if they want to find out more about fire science and to figure out exactly what they have to do and, what's at stake is in terms of a career path. But, I just want to say that, we're extremely proud of you, and it's been great to see you actually grow through the ranks from volunteer to now chief. It's a huge accomplishment, and especially since you are the first Black police chief in Surfside Beach. Are you the first Black in Horry County or just Surfside?
Well, we had the Black fire department there that used to be up race staff. So I'm sure
I just want to see if you knew your history.
I know they had.
Yeah, you've been checking your history out, man.
Very good, very good.
So other than that, I do think I am the first Black fire chief in Horry County.
Okay, all right. Well, awesome. Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Before we go off the air, Chief, is one thing I just want to ask. Have you ever had to do mouth-to-mouth resuscitation? I mean, no.
You want to know that?
No, sir.
You went through that training, okay? You ever had to do that?
A long time ago. We stopped doing mouth whenever AIDS pandemic started. So we quit doing mouth to mouth ago.
Well, not currently. I mean, not during the pandemic. No, of course not. But in the past, did that ever come up where you had to?
No, it never came up. We have different type of equipment we're able to utilize whenever we're doing CPR. Usually, I tell people whenever I'm teaching CPR, I wouldn't do mouth to mouth on anyone other than my immediate family, because I know where they're being.
That's a good point.
I think they've actually changed the CPR courses. Now you don't do mouth to mouth anymore, do you, Chief Williams?
You can do compressions only.
Compressions only.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've changed quite a lot.
I mean, I always tell them it may look good, but it might not be good in the end.
Oh, so okay. I think on that note, we're gonna roll out. Exactly. Brother, you can wrap it up right there. Okay.
All right, Chief, thank you so much for being on today. And we got a lot of comments came in. came in with this program, and a lot of congratulations that came in. So, and we want to thank the people who are viewing our first Black Fire Chief in Ory County. I guess the surrounding counties too. I said PD area, I would say. So,
Well,
thank you again.
Yes, sir. One comment. There's a Black Fire Chief in Georgetown County.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Okay. That's great.
And last thing, if you would like to have CPR talk, please get in contact with me. I'll do it for the community. You just have to pay for your card. That lets everyone
That's
know
awesome.
that you are CPR certified.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
For a moment, I thought you were going to say mouth to mouth resuscitation, but yeah, obviously.
No, and in Surfside, one last thing before you go. In Surfside, I started a program called Neighbors Saving Neighbors.
Yeah.
Where you teach how to do CPR, how to identify strokes, heart attacks.
Oh, that's good.
Things like that. So if we can come together as a community, possibly save our neighbor.
Yeah.
We're doing good.
Absolutely. Hey, man,
I think that's awesome. Hopefully COVID will allow us to do some things in 2021 to make that happen, because people really do need that training, that CPR and stroke awareness training. We just talked about that last week, I believe it was. So yeah, that's great. It's a great offering.
So we'll before I go up, I'd like to advise our viewers to check out the network this Friday coming. And that's every Friday, 4 p.m. Now they talk about the COVID. Now you want to know about the COVID? Yeah, you can get it from there. 4 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. Right, so Staples?
And the networkconnects.com. Yes.
Network Connect. Okay. .com. All right. So I'm going to say to our audience, have a good evening, and thank you again, Chief. For being on the program, and I know Sandridge is proud, as proud as they can be tonight, this evening. So, to our audience, have a good evening, and we'll be seeing you next week, same time, same place, hopefully, right here on WCM Live. See y'all. God bless. See you next week.
Thank you for watching the Whittemore Community Magazine live on Facebook. You can watch a rebroadcast of this episode by visiting WCM Live on YouTube.